My coach kind of took me through this personal alignment tool, which I want to share with all of you. So he said, the most basic element that we need to align while we are pursuing any goal could be, now you can keep a goal in your mind. It could be a department you're looking at building in your business. It could be a result you're looking at accomplishing in your business. It could be any aspect of your life. Keep a goal in mind while you go through this. He said the most foundation thing is first to check with yourself that is the environment supportive to this goal. Is the environment supportive? Now, when we talk environment, uh, we're talking about people, okay, who you are surrounded by in the pursuit of that goal. Are they supportive? We're talking about place, okay. Sometimes the location matters. Say today, if I want to build a successful business, the last place to start a head office would be in somewhere in the middle of Palestine, right? For example, because the place won't be conducive. Okay, so environment is about who, where, when, timing. Is this the right timing for whatever I'm pursuing? Like, for example, I've had a crazy last 4 months. Okay, uh, crazy last 4 months from the point of view of work. Quantum Leap and Dreamcraft both are operating at a very high intensity. And suddenly there's a new phase in business where, because there are new things, there's a lot dependent on me as I'm front-ending the creation of the new things. So I've just moved homes, and to get the architects and interior designers and laborers out of the new home has been one hell of an experience. Okay. I have a 20-month-old daughter who's now speaking, who's now moving, and who now has a mind of her own, and who demands things a certain way, and then you fulfill that demand, and then there's another one that comes out. So she's in that stage of testing boundaries. So that is happening. I've had some extended family having challenges, medical challenges, where I've had to step in, kind of support, help in decisions. So I've been very, very intense. Now, in this kind of an environment, do you think waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning, meditating for 1 hour, doing yoga for 1 hour, okay, making sure that I'm following a food timetable, clean eating, okay, keeping a check on my 3 liters of water intake in a day, keeping a check on my 20-minute afternoon nap, okay, and then after that a proper 8-hour sleep. Do you think this environment supports that goal? It doesn't. Okay. Now there are two ways of looking at this situation. One way of looking at this situation is to resist the responsibilities and fail at my goal of health, okay, and be frustrated about it, or to give myself the permission to say, this is a phase. In this phase, here is my minimum maintenance activity towards my health, which I will not violate, whatever is in my control, okay, and allow myself to be inconsistent in my health practices, yet to have some maintenance markers. Which approach do you think will work? Second one will work. And I'll tell you, most of us, we are not okay with giving ourselves that option also. We want everything to work for us at all points of time in life. And most of our energy gets drained there. How many of you have experienced that? Yeah, we got to cut ourselves some slack. We can't. And in this entire process, you'll bloody watch some video of how Hrithik Roshan transformed his body for a movie. You will kill yourself. I don't watch health videos when I'm going through this kind of a phase. I'm like, it's okay to not be okay. Okay, because there are other priorities. We live life in phases. How many of you experienced that? If you look at your own life, you live it in phases. There are phases where health takes a precedence. I remember once asking this one other mentor of mine, Dr. John DeMartini. I said, Doctor, something or the other every year I see something or the other happening with health. Like 2 months of my life, health takes a priority. Some issue comes up. Last year it came up with a hernia issue. Okay, something or the other keeps coming up. And there were about 30 people in that room. And he said, How many of you experience the same thing? That something or the other comes up with health? Everybody raise their hand. Said, put your hand down, it's normal. Like, okay. Again, and I'll tell you, I'm bringing back the first conversation I had with all of you today. Most of us are chasing fantasies. And our energy gets drained in the fantasy. And look, now while I say we are chasing fantasy, energy gets drained, some of us then go to the extreme end, become reckless and irresponsible. But that's not the point of this conversation. So I hope we have a marker of responsibility in between. Yeah, because it's not about saying, right? So it's not like, okay, because I'm going through all these things in my environment, it's not like, okay, I'll honor my desire for a chocolate mousse at the end of the day because that's the only way for me to feel good. No, I will not do that. I'll have a marker saying, okay, Baba, I'm not able to lift weights because of a hernia issue. I'm not able to do XYZ. Probably my sleep patterns are a bit erratic at this point of time. So here's what I will do. I will at least make sure I eat home food. That becomes my marker. And it's on that marker I'm trusting my body to say, hey, take care of me in this phase. The relationship I'm building with my body, because for me the environment is not conducive. This is making sense? And then clearly for me what I have to work on is the environment. I have to probably build more capacity to handle the business challenges that we have today, or probably slow down a little bit. Okay? And I'll tell you, these decisions, I'll tell you what stops us from making these decisions. Again, our own judgment. Oh, we are slowing down the goals. How many of you had that internal conflict to slow down a goal at some point of time? But I'll tell you what, the moment you make that decision and give yourself that permission, the freedom you experience is massive. Because, and what will give you the courage to make those kind of decisions is when you ask yourself, what's my fundamental? What matters to me? Bottom line kya hai? Is it worth making that money over losing my health, losing my time with my daughter, losing this? My answer is no. That's my answer. I'll say, okay, I'll slow it down. I'll do it. Chalega. Nahi karna hai saal 150 crore. It's fine. So environment is one factor. Any goal, you got to check environment. What is environment? Who? What? No, who? Where? When? Now, any goal that you are pursuing today, ask yourself, is your environment in alignment? If it's not in alignment, make decisions to make it in alignment. Then, the next level to achieve alignment is behaviors and actions. Which means what? In that situation, in that context, are my behaviors and actions supporting me or hurting me? That's the question to ask. Are my behaviors and actions moving me towards my goals or moving me away from my goals? Okay. So for me, in the context of health, it was like, okay, what is the behavior and action that I will take? I will make sure I eat home food. Okay. I will make sure that I eat meals regularly, at least make sure that the timing of my meals is followed. So sometimes I've had meetings and I've told people, hey, do I have the permission to eat right now? Can I eat? So I have to even let go of that judgment. With my own team, chalega, but if there's someone coming from outside, there's a sense of judgment, no? How will it come across if I'm eating? I've given myself the permission to let go of the judgment and take permission from the person and probably give them a one-line context saying, hey, listen, I'm going through a phase of life which is super intense. Okay, the one thing I'm doing to take care of my body is I'm keeping a check on the time of my meals. For me, this meeting is important and taking care of my timing is important. Are you okay for me to eat? Now, whether the person's okay or not, he will say yes. I'm doing it for me. So, there are certain behaviors and actions that I will define that will help me move me towards my goals. So, you got to identify in any context at which level do you need a change. Okay. So, environment is who, where, when, behaviors and actions. The next is capabilities. Now, what do I mean by capabilities? Here we are talking about skills and knowledge. For me to achieve that goal, do I have the required skill and knowledge? See, there was a stage when it came to my health where I was unaware. I didn't know what I didn't know. So I would watch a YouTube video and decide what should be nutrition, which was not the right approach. But I have invested time, energy to learn about what it takes to live a healthy life. There was a time where I didn't know what is protein, what is carbs, what is fiber. So whatever came or whatever was available would go inside. Then there was a time that I learned about, okay, if protein is important, how much is important and how much is not important, and what about it is more marketing to sell whey protein. So I had to learn these things because, see, in any area of your life, be it your business, be it your health, be it your relationship, how many of you realize skills and knowledge is important? Yes or no? I can apply the same chart in terms of relationship. I can say, okay, say for example, okay, I'm going through a tough time in my relationship and my goal is to take my relationship to a space of alignment. Okay. Now, I'll first check environment. What in the environment is creating the challenge in my relationship, let's just say with my spouse? And I'll realize, okay, probably the environment that is creating a challenge is my own family, my parents, my expectation, expectation my parents have out of my spouse. Those expectations are creating a discordial environment at home. So probably have to shift that environment. Okay, make the move. Okay, let my parents know I love you as a son. I love her as a husband. I have to play both the roles. I want to play both these roles. I'll move above, below, left side, right side. Every day you will see me. Every day we will talk. 3 times a day we will have conversations. I have to make a shift in the environment. No? Then I need to have a behavior and action. Now when I shift, the behavior and action cannot be after shifting blaming my wife. Because of you, I left my parents. I have to then say, I did this for us. And I have to ground myself in those behaviors and actions that will support and nurture this relationship. For that, I have to build capabilities. I have to have emotional intelligence. I can't be impulsive. I can't be reactive. You have to learn those things. Are you seeing the same concept is applicable in anything? Business, life, money, finances. Someone today said, not build assets after so many years. Let's take that goal. Firstly, your environment. Okay? Who, where, when. Now, possibly, I don't know, check with yourself. Is your environment supportive? So you may say, Rajiv, yeah, there's no challenge from my environment. My family would love for me to build assets. Okay? I think it's the right time for me to start. Okay? So that's not a challenge. So this may not be a challenge. Then check behavior and action. So do you have the behavior and action of saving and investing? Do you have the behavior and action of calculating how much money you're spending on yourself? And if those expenditures are necessities or are they living beyond your means? So you have to then manage your money, the behavior and action there. Now probably for that what's missing is capability. The understanding of, based on my income, what percentage should I use for my necessity? What percentage should I use for my saving and investment? What percentage should I use for my enjoyment and recreation? So I need to build skills. Every goal of yours, you can check these markers. And the way to check these markers is it supporting? Is it not supporting? If it's supporting, you don't have to do anything at that level. If it's not supporting, you have to make a change at that level. Are you with me, everyone? Hello? Okay. So we've got environment, we've got behaviors and actions, we've got capabilities. Then comes the middle. What is a belief? A belief is what is our reality. Please note, our reality, not the reality. There's a difference between our reality and the reality. A belief is a self-talk. It's a conviction or a concept that we carry about a particular area. So when I was working with my coach on my health, okay, back then when I had learned this first, I said environment conducive. Okay, I have 8 hours, I have a team to support me for my health. I have a cook. I have a house help who takes care of our requirements. So I don't have to sit and personally cook. Environment is fine. My wife is a great support in that environment because she is naturally inclined towards health. behaviors and actions, I was doing everything right. Sleeping, working out, okay, physical activity, all of those things. Capabilities, my skill and knowledge was great. Then came belief. My belief. You got to make a lot of sacrifices to have a healthy body. Do you think that belief supports me or hurts me? Hurts me. Because what is the experience of sacrifice? Is it uplifting or is it draining? It's draining. So I'm doing everything right. But this belief is creating an unsupportive experience for me. Some of you have this in business. Building a business is a challenge. Life of a business owner is sacrifice. Building a business is a struggle. Or you got to be lucky to get success. I don't know. Check. Because unsupportive beliefs drain our energy even if we have the capability, behaviors, and the right environment. How many of you see that? Yes or no? Okay. Belief. I either have to be a ethical doctor or I have to build a economically viable hospital and not worry about ethics. I have seen medical professionals with that contradiction, that you can't make money with an ethical practice. And because of that contradiction, they feel so uncertain. They are oscillating. Some days they are saying, nahi yaar, this much so we have to do. Some days they are saying, no yaar, let's do what is right for the patient. So sometimes our belief becomes our barrier. And we need to work on that. Now people ask me, Rajiv, okay, I'll come to that later. So environment, behaviors, actions, capabilities, beliefs. The next level of beliefs, okay, and this is a very, very beautiful part, is values. So what I said was, beliefs are our reality. It's our self-talk. Okay? And the beliefs can either hurt us or heal us. So sometimes what happens is our beliefs become the barrier that do not support us. So you got to check, is your belief supporting you or draining you? Okay? A positive belief will help you stay in alignment. A negative belief will pull you down in that area. The word value, what does it mean? Value is actually, what do you value? What is important to you? Like we say, companies' values. What is that? It's what's important to us. That we want to build a business in alignment with this. That's what's important to us. Win-win-win is a value. Customer should win, team member should win, business owner should win. So that's important to us. So values is what's important to me. So now the question was, okay, so in the context of my health, what do I value more? Do I value clean eating or do I value sweets? I think I value sweets. It's important to be honest. I think I value sweets. If you put a tiramisu in front of me, I've had night fantasies about tiramisu. I have woken up with tears in my eyes after coming back from Italy and waking up my wife saying, I want to go back to Italy to eat tiramisu. Right? So, values is what's important to you. Because what's important to you shows up in your actions. How many of you agree? It shows up in your actions. So say for example, if I'm saying that, hey, you know what, I want to build a profitable hospital. Okay. Now, there will be moments where there will be a contradiction in these two words, profitable and hospital. Right? And there will be decisions. So what will guide those decisions will be my values. So at that point of time, I'll say, you know what, we'll be aggressive, focused about building the hospital, but we will build it on the principle of service. Which means, will there be days where we will make decisions that will not be economically empowering? Yes, we'll prioritize that. In relationships, say for example, what's important to me is to be of love and grace to the people who matter to me. So even if the dynamics between my wife and my mother are not going great, I know with my wife I have to be a husband, with my mother I have to be a son. The problem will come if when I'm with my wife, I'm thinking and behaving like a son, and when I'm with my mother, I'm thinking and behaving like a husband. I'm not going to be happy anywhere. This is making sense. Okay? What's important to me in every relationship? Love and grace. I want to be graceful in my relationships and I want to be a person of love. So defining that helps in alignment again. But if I'm not clear, then I'm in distortion. Is this making sense? So towards my health, I had to define what's my value. I defined my value as I will honor my body and I will honor my senses once in a while. So once in a while, and I'll tell you the beautiful part. The moment I gave myself the permission to say I will honor my senses and I'll have sweet, there were times that that sweet was there, and because I was not depriving myself of it and I was giving myself the permission to consume it, I effortlessly did not consume it. Deprivation is another emotion you got to be aware of. If you're depriving yourself of something, you've heard of yo-yo effect? You will yo-yo back into it with force and then go to another round of guilt. Okay? So, checkpoints, environment, behavior and action. Okay? Are my behaviors and actions supporting? Capabilities, do I have the required skills and knowledge? Beliefs, what's my self-talk? What is my reality? Is my reality supporting me, or is my reality hurting me? Values, what's important to me in the context of this goal? Okay? Like what's important to you when you say you want to start building personal finances for yourself? Then you will have to probably make decisions to say, okay, this is my income. This much money I'm allocating to an SIP no matter what. Okay, let me start. Okay? So value, what's important to you? Next level of value is identity. What is identity? Identity is nothing but my self-image. Like in my health, my coach asked me this question. He said, if Rajiv was an animal in the context of health, which animal describes Rajiv? You know what was my answer? I said, I'm getting the picture of a baby elephant. There you go. I said, why baby elephant? Now watch. I said, baby elephant, because, and I'll tell you the conversation at that point of time was, I'm doing everything, but I'm not able to release visceral fat. Like, I have the average Indian body, which is थोड़ा सा ये दिक्कत है हमारे लाइफ का, ठीक है, वो नहीं जा रहा, कुछ भी कर लो. So, say, why baby elephant? I said, here's what I've realized. I don't live with my parents. I live separately. Okay. My diet is very different from the diet of my parents. Okay. To a point where my dad's favorite criticism of mine is kuch khata nahi hai. Okay. And it doesn't end at that. Kuch khata nahi hai, jeene ka kya fayda? So our diet and lifestyle is very different. Okay. So for me, retaining this is a way of feeling belong to that family. कुछ तो लगना चाहिए उनके जैसे. Okay. Such a beautiful subconscious thing. Right? For me, this is association to belong. Okay? Because my thought processes are very different from my parents. My dietary preferences are very different. My habits and lifestyle are very different. I eat dinner at 7 p.m. At 7 p.m., they are having an evening snack. They decide what needs to be made for dinner at 8 p.m. I sleep by 9:30. Their night starts at 10 p.m. Okay? So I realized that there is a subconscious image I have built of myself just to feel connected to my parents. Yeah. So my coach asked me, now that you're aware, what would you like to shift this to? Which animal would you like to build yourself up as? And it was cheetah. I want to be agile, flexible, fast. Yeah. Now, watch. How many of you are seeing? At each level, there are locks that we need to unlock for alignment. Yes or no? Environment, behaviors, capabilities, beliefs, values, identity. How do we see ourselves? Like in business, I'll tell you for the longest time, for me, in business, the self image was of a struggling entrepreneur. Because of the years of struggle I had experienced, every time I saw myself as a hardworking, struggling entrepreneur. I couldn't visualize or see myself as an effortless, successful entrepreneur. And I'll come to that. इसलिए तो आए हो तुम. Coming to that. So I'll tell you what are the transitions I've had. There was a stage of my life, like I used to visualize when I'm going in for a sales meeting, I used to visualize a rejection. How many of you have ever had this conversation even before going for a sales meeting? Anyway, I won't get this project. Yeah. Anyway, I won't get this deal. And that came from the self-image of seeing myself as a struggling entrepreneur. Then that self-image moved to, I'm a hardworking entrepreneur who doesn't get the desired result. That was my image of myself. That's like stage 2, at least progress from stage 1. Yeah. Then the self-image moved from, I'm a hardworking entrepreneur who doesn't get the desired result, saying, I'm a hardworking entrepreneur who gets the desired result. Kind of work on it and say, oh, you know what? I'm an entrepreneur who produces results with ease and grace. I do it with ease and grace. And I'll tell you how we evolve. Pits. And over a period of time of pits, then awareness. When awareness sets in, it becomes awareness at a cellular level, not just at an intellectual level. That's when the shift actually happens. And I'll tell you how to accelerate that process today. Last level. Okay. You have a burning question? Yeah, Mike, please.
So I am into licensing business.
Yep.
Now we have more this thing like saving energy for the country and all that values we have. So that it's a noble goal to achieve, and customers as well as the country will have some positive effect through our deeds. But especially before and after COVID, to gain the money, we have to work like a Mandwali Bacha. And there are customers are stuck in some problem, and we have to go to the right concerned officer and solve their problem. The image what is getting created is a Mandwali Bacha. Okay, and customers are treating us like that. क्या रे ये मेरा ये काम कर दो, sir please give me your energy audit. No वो बाद में देखेंगे. So that's actually happening, and that is troubling me while going to take up some customers problem to the officers. Okay. अरे मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ ये? My goal is this, and I am doing this. So that self-image is pulling my legs actually.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, it's not your self-image that's pulling your legs; it's your values that is pulling your legs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You want to fulfill this mission and goal, okay? But there are certain value systems that you value, which are important to you, and if you are not seen and treated in that way, that's what creates misalignment in the self-image.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll come to the solution in some time, but I'll tell you what. There's another thing that for all of you to start observing. At every stage, the point above and the point below contributes to your experience of that stage. For example, okay, you want to shift environment, you got to shift. You want to shift behaviors and actions, you got to shift. And you want to shift capabilities, you have to shift. Because think about it, when my beliefs change, my self-talk changes, and my behaviors change, that's when I become capable. Is it making sense? You want to shift beliefs, you got to enhance your, because the more you get better at it, the more your belief about it will change. And you got to work on your values. What's important to me? Because when you define what's important to you, you create flexibility in your beliefs. So every layer is governed by the layers above it and below it. This is making sense? Yeah. Now, last seventh level of alignment is your purpose. What is the purpose? It's a larger goal. It's a bigger picture. What is the bigger picture? What's the larger goal? In the context of that goal, what's the larger goal? So my coach asked me, your goal is to become healthy and fit. What's the bigger goal? What's the purpose? What's the larger goal behind it? I was like, close my eyes and I went like, two things. One, I have a beautiful wife. When I stand next to her, I got to feel like I deserve her. For the love of my wife, I want to be fit. Second, the work that I do is important to me. And for that work, for me to fulfill what I have to do at work, standing 8-10 hours a day for 3-4 days back to back, doing that week after week, I want a fitter body. So now you see, it's not about me and my body anymore. My purpose is coming from something outside that is much larger than me and my body. Coming from my love for my wife. It's coming from my love for my work. Right? So the purpose allows you to then transcend above all these levels. Is it making sense? Yeah. So now, here's what I'd like you to do. Okay. For me, any goal I pursue, okay, any objective I pursue, health, wealth, relationships, business, okay, building a department, okay, any challenge, any area which is a challenge and I want a certain outcome, I check how is my personal alignment firstly in this area. Okay. Who, where, when, what needs to change here? Or is it supportive? If it's supportive, no problem. Behavior and action, what needs to change here? If it's in alignment, no problem. Capabilities, what do I need to learn in terms of skills and knowledge? What do I need to practice as capable and build as capability over here? Beliefs, what's my current reality? What's my self-talk about this area? Okay, is it supportive or not? How can I enhance capability and values to transform beliefs? Values, what's important to me about this? What's important to me about building a business? I want to do it the right way. I want to do it in a manner where I give value no matter what happens. I want to do it in a manner where my team is happy. I want to do it in a manner where my customers are happy so that it's fair exchange for everyone. So values, identity. What's my self-image? How do I see myself? Okay. Today I see myself as the person in business. I see myself as the person who has the best opportunity in this country to transform the MSME ecosystem. So I see that as a great responsibility. I said, the fact that it's like, it's like a World Cup final and it's the last ball and you're on the striker's end. You can either screw it or you can do it. So I see myself as that opportunity for the MSME ecosystem, that I have the opportunity, I have the shot. That's the identity I have. Probably when I score that shot, then the identity will shift to I am the guy who did it. Okay? So identity and then the purpose. What's the larger goal? What's the bigger picture? Now here's what I'd like you to do. Pick a goal. Okay, any goal. And as I was speaking, probably you've already picked that goal. Yes? Some of you have already shared some of your goals. Starting, building financial investments, running a hospital, while managing business interests. Okay, some of you shared that goal already. Whichever area you are lacking personal alignment, okay, that personal challenge that you listed out, in that area, discuss with your partner. I want you to explain this to your partner, giving your own example to identify which area is aligned, which area is not aligned, and what needs to change. Can you do that? Yes? So, a simpler way of doing it, if it's not aligned, demarcate that area as red. If it's aligned, put it as green. Okay? And if it's neither hurting nor helping, then it's like an orange in your head. So the red needs work, Orange may not need work. Okay? Green doesn't need work for sure. So I want you to explain this concept with your own example, with your own goal, because as you explain it, you will get clarity of what needs to change. Yes? Okay? So pairs of two, take about 10 minutes, 5 minutes each, begin. Okay, I'll tell you why. Uh, till here, these are actions and decisions. Okay, it's more something you do. Change my environment, change my behavior, learn, acquire capability. From here, it's a lot more perspective. It's a lot more emotion and mental. Now, when you create a goal, when you design a goal, can you start by defining purpose? Defining who do we need to see ourselves as? What is important to us? What kind of belief will allow us to achieve that goal? What kind of skills, knowledge, capabilities will be required? What behaviors and actions will be required? Who we need? Where do we need to do it? When do we need to do it? Can you work from here to here as well? Yes, when you create a goal. But when you are looking at solving a challenge, go bottom up. Go bottom up. And identify which area is getting stuck, and whichever area is getting stuck, transform one above it, one below it. Okay. So yeah, I'd like you to discuss. I'd like you to teach this to your partner with your own example, and through the process, discover your solutions.